First question, and Michael Berry will let you start today. President Obama's stealth mission to Afghanistan this week. An election year grandstanding move or an important turning point for America?
Oh, well, one more embarrassment in the Obama litany of embarrassments of composite girlfriends and dog eating and lies to the public and clinging to guns and God. I wish he would have given the bitter clinging to guns and God speech to this group instead of to his fundraiser in San Francisco. I mean, the fact is he used our soldiers as props for a speech he gave back home, and he went into exile on the very day that the occupoopers were tearing up the country. It's just one more embarrassing thing this man has done and a lack of respect he has for another group of people, our American military.
Carl?
You know, I wish you would drop that cling to their God and guns reference. In 2008, Barack Obama won more of the rural vote in this country than any Democratic candidate since Lyndon Johnson in '64. So leveraging that didn't work then, and it's not going to work now. The president has to deal with a mess that the previous administration got us into. Frankly, answering the question about Afghanistan, I am concerned about the costs of staying there beyond 2014. I'm worried about the stability of the Karzai government with whom this measure was signed, this agreement was signed, and I'm concerned that the Afghans will be ready. But the truth is, it's better than having those troops inside the country. This is the Biden idea of having a quick counterterrorism and training force with no permanent bases in the country. I don't like it in toto, but it's a good step to get out of there.
Carl, let's talk about...
Being honest, I fell asleep in the middle of your answer.
Well, you know, there's something about the right wing that they won't accept the truth or logic or science.
If you were
and
dozing,
narcolepsy is one of them.
Michael, if you were dozing, he did say something about Dorothy and Toto, I believe. All right, on to Newt Gingrich's campaign. Running on empty for some time, staff quitting, debt in the millions. Carl, what was Newt thinking exactly?
Well, you know, let me talk about this debt because he leaves the race with his campaign $4.3 million in debt. At the end of February, which is just 2 months ago, he only had $1.5 million, which means he ran up that much debt after he knew Romney would get the nomination, and he knows Romney and the RNC are going to pay it off. So this guy ran up a tab that somebody else is going to pay off. This is a guy who wanted to manage the country's economy. This guy ran on ego, ran up a tab. I wouldn't be happy if I were a Republican looking at Newt today.
Michael.
Well, let me say, Newt Gingrich is sort of a Republican Barack Obama. He is a guy just driven by this megalomaniacal need, this narcissistic need for everything to be about him. Everyone should pander to him. Despite that, he is a guy of big ideas. You can't take that away from him. Some of them are absolutely ridiculous and stupid, and some of them are quite interesting. He's going to do now what he should do, which is write his books and make speeches and travel around the country, and that's what I said last fall that he should do. But there's no doubt that guys like him should be part of the public conversation. He just has no business being president.
Michael, Portland's May Day demonstrations, relatively quiet this year. Has Occupy Portland lost its steam?
Well, I hope not, because I think they're good to keep around because this is the face of the Barack Obama supporters. I was watching the live stream there, and it looks like they get bored of themselves. But I find it interesting. Sam Adams, for instance, originally was defending those folks until they started battering the city employees that were cleaning their very toilets. I mean, these are people that have destroyed public property. These are people that make the most egregious statements against Jews and other folks, and no one holds them to task. And this administration continues to defend them, even as they shoot at the White House while Obama's inside. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's duplicitous, but this is the face of the Obama coalition. I'd like to keep them out in the streets until Election Day to remind middle America exactly what they look like.
Carl.
Is there anything you're not tying to President Obama, by the way?
No.
Maybe Junior Seau's death. You're mischaracterizing the Occupy movement. You pick out a couple incidents, a few that didn't even happen and a few that were misreported to claim that's Occupy. The truth is the visibility of the 99% movement, there's a difference between visibility and numbers in the street and what the corporate media and people like you, Michael Berry, are not reporting. That's the effectiveness at a horizontalness, linking arms to move money out of these big banks, to make sure foreclosures are handled with people's rights in mind. It is a broad-based coalition that's working together, grassroots, under the radar, and you're going to see the results of it in this election.
10-second answer. We're going to try something new this week. Has President Obama earned the right to brag, or is he spiking the bin Laden football? Carl, 10 seconds.
I'm going to take more than 10 seconds and break your rule. He got the guy. He deserves it. Mitt Romney couldn't find Osama bin Laden unless bin Laden was in a Swiss bank vault.
Michael.
The Navy SEALs have every right to brag, and they don't. Barack Obama spikes the football like he throws a baseball. He's a sissy, and he should be ashamed.
Yeah. This from a guy whose party for 40 years used the cudgel of foreign policy, saying if we don't elect Republicans, we're all going to die.
Please don't ever
This is a guy,
again.
George W. Bush, who flew on an aircraft carrier and said, mission accomplished. It was just that mess that this president is cleaning up.
Carl, Michael and I don't even know what cudgel means. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Michael
That's
Berry.
because I have one and you don't.
Michael Berry, Carl Wolfson, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
10-second rule. I love that.